thank you, Paul, for your kind introduction, and I would like also to thank the organizer for the kind invitation to participate in this fourth edition of the SmartOcean Forum, which has been indeed very productive and fruitful for the networking and to have an overall vision of the research and maritime community here in Ireland. Well, I have divided the presentation into two main blocks. I will try to go quick to explain the description of which are our organization, Plocan, and then I will try to focus more specifically in how we are working towards the blue growth economy and how we are trying to face the new key challenges that the European Commission are proposing to us in the next period between the 14 and the 20. On those aspects, I will be focused on the marine renewables energies, the Atlantic Ocean observing and forecasting system, the protection against risk and emergencies, which are key challenges for us, and also the new offshore challenges that have been proposed or will have been proposed in the new Horizon 2020. And at the end, I will try to remark just some main ideas that I have tried to present in this presentation. Together with those activities, I will try to give you a brief shot of which is the projects that we are already executing in those type of activities in order to try to illuminate some potential collaborations activities in the coming years, in the coming months. Okay, Plocan is a public consortium built between the national government of Spain and the regional government of the Canary Islands, and our main objective is to design, construct, and operate a fixed offshore platform in the east coast of Gran Canaria. This offshore platform will be dedicated mainly to promote and foster research and technological development and innovation in the marine and maritime science. If we talk about our approach, a strategical approach in keywords, we are an interdisciplinary organization, which is, in our opinion, the way that we have to face the ocean exploration. And we are focused mainly in large projects that are trying to be near of the market, so innovation projects, in order to try to improve to jump the gap between the knowledge creation and the market introduction of new products and services. The new platform is going to be located in the east coast of Gran Canaria. I guess that the majority of the auditorium knows where the Canary Islands are, but we are in front of the coast of Africa here. And, the platform is going to be fixed to the sea base, and the nearest point will be located at 1.5 kilometers from the coast, and the depth will be about 30 meters. So this will allow us to make all kind of operations with divers around the platform to recovery equipment, etc. The platform itself, it will have about 2,500 square meters for use, divided in 3 different floors, and it will be equipped with all the necessary materials and equipment for a wide range of activities, research and development activities in the marine science. And of course, it will have also the necessary facilities for hosting researchers during a long time living in the platform. The main foundation have already been constructed, and they are waiting in the port of Las Palmas to be deployed in their selected site. Okay, surrounding the platform, we have a marine test site, which is going to be, it's about 40 square kilometers. And you can see that it's divided into 2 clear areas. One that is going to be cabled with the possibilities to evacuate at least 10 megavolts, and mainly of wave energy converters and wind offshore converters. And we have another area which is open to test any kind of technologies, even those regarding marine energies, technologies, which don't need to be connected, at least in the first stage. The area, not going into detail, but the area has been selected following specific criteria, which include energy resources, optimal energy resources, not for commercial activities, but for demonstration and testing activities, which are our main focus. And then we have also a very good connection with the grid, because it's in front. The main central electrical center of the island is just in front of the marine test site. And then we have also a very good bathymetry that range from 30 meters depth here and to more than 1,000 meters at the end. And our land facilities are located in the port of Taliate, a little bit in the south of the marine test site. And it's important just to highlight that together with Plocan, we are in combination with the University of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, or the Scientific and Technological Park of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, and the National Algae Bank. So we are creating the marine competitive pole, where we have equipped with the necessary rooms and technologies to develop maritime science, and also the different equipments that we use it for exploring the sea. In this slide, I would like to say that some of these equipments are of our owners. We own these equipments. Another, like you can see here, was presented by the NOCS, the National Oceanography Center of Southampton. We included as part of the essays that are have been done in Plocan for a couple of months. Okay, we organize all of this into 5 main areas, which include our focus on the observatory and monitoring the sea, the test site, and to creating a marine vehicles base, okay, for surface and also submarine vehicles. And 2 transversal activities, which include the innovation activity in order to foster the transfer of the technology to the enterprises, and the training activities in order to share the knowledge that we accumulate during our activities. Okay, focusing on how we are working towards the blue growth, one of our main key aspects is how to harness the renewable energies in the ocean. In this sense, our main focus is trying to give the opportunity to developers to come to Plocan to make demonstrations and test activities, and to develop the research and innovation which is behind it. The type of activities that we develop in Plocan are mostly wave energy converters and wind offshore converters. It's very difficult to go into tidal converters because of the depth in the Canaries. Regarding the resources, we have very good resources regarding the wind in the Canary Islands. Just an example, the potential generation in offshore wind double the demand in the Canary Islands, but it's going to be very difficult to develop these possibilities or this potential because of the NIMBY effect. So everybody is agree with new renewable energies, but when you wanted to install a generator, people said in the Canary Islands, not in my backyard, so it's very difficult to develop this in onshore. So the potential is offshore, and we have one of the best resources in Spain with an excellent area for installing offshore wind converters. The problem that I must highlight here, and which is our main focus, is if we move here, we are talking about more than 1,500 meters depth. So we are basically focused on offshore, on floating offshore platforms. On this aspect, we have already developed projects and deployed energy converters. This one in the impact of wave energy. It was a difficult operation there, and with a 10 tons buoy and more than 5 meters of diameter, and it was in 1.5 scale, so you can imagine the big one. And in January, we will start with this other project, which is only another wave energy converter, but in this case, linear converter. And it will be deployed in January in the marine test site of Plocan. Initially, not connected to the grid, but just to test the electricity production. And together with the converters, we are also involved in the project which is called LINGWIND, you may know, which is led by the University of Cork. And in terms of transmit our knowledge of multi-use offshore platforms as interesting tool for the logistics in becoming the development of the wind offshore farms. Another point which is very important for us is trying to be a key partner in the North Atlantic multi-platform ocean observing and forecasting system. We have been active in assess this area of the ocean in the Atlantic, of course surrounding the Canary Islands, but indeed covering all the Macaronesian area in the Atlantic. In this sense, we have developed the European Station for Time Series in the Ocean, which have been active for more than 15 years at 66 miles in the coast of Gran Canaria, and anchoring at more than 3,000 meters there. So we have been collaborating with the European community, sharing strong amount of data during all these periods. Together with this fix, we have also mobile platforms like gliders that are part of our fleet that are continuously monitoring the area. And in the future, we plan to have a cable coastal observatory, taking advantages of the cable that we are already deploying in the marine test site. In these aspects, we are collaborating and being part of the EMSO and NESONET projects, and also with the ICOS. And we are also involved in the FIX-03 project that you know have been recently launched, the Fixed Point Open Ocean Observatories. And I would like to highlight that we are coordinating, we are in the phase of negotiation of this project, which is Nexus, trying to not only focus on how to use the technologies, but in the development of the technologies indeed. So we are working in trying to collaborate into the developing of the new generations of sensors that could be cost-effective, compact, and multifunctional, and mainly focus on the CO2 detection, hydrocarbons, and an innovative approach to control the fisheries management, installing robust sensors on the fisheries net. And as I said at the beginning, one of our key challenges, and we are very interested in, is in trying to develop specific projects that assess how to be protected against risk and emergencies in the ocean. As you may know, the Canary Islands are part of the golden triangle of the oil and gas industry, and recently we have been proposed by the oil and gas industry to make some drilling perspectives here in the coast of the Canary Islands, very near of the islands of Lanzarote and Fuerteventura, and it's near, in 60 kilometers. They are planned many prospective drills. So this is, of course, a risk since our economy is based on tourism, but it's also, as usual, offer a good opportunity to develop specific projects in this area in terms of develop early alert systems to monitoring what can happen if oil spills appears, and which will be our responses for that. Okay. And in this sense also, we are participating in the big project Perseus, not because of the risks of oil spills, but in this case, in order to control and monitoring the marine borders. So we are offering our surface vehicle in terms of monitoring an area in the south of the Canary Islands using these new technologies for the controlling of the maritime borders. And finally, as Owen Sweeney introduced in his presentation, we are leading one of the new offshore challenges that the European Commission presented in 2010 in the Ocean of Tomorrow call, which is the development of multi-use offshore platforms. The idea is that since we are moving offshore, many of those activities, especially the transport activity, the aquaculture, and also the energy, it would be great if we can develop new concepts of how can we integrate those activities in the same platform. So we are leading a project there which is called Tropos, and the idea is to develop three new concepts of these platforms that will try to harness the resources that you can find in the subtropical, tropical, and the Mediterranean area. So these concepts are going to be developed specifically for each of those areas. In the case of the model that we're trying to present in the Canary Islands, we have included also the leisure activities, as it is our main economic motor, power in the Canary Islands. So, but it's a requirement of the EC that not only the leisure activities, but also include the aquaculture, the transport, and also the energy. So we are working on this type of models, since we'll be the second generation of our own multi-use offshore platform that we are building in Plocan. And it's also the base where we are in Lean Wind project as partners. Well, finally, in this case, I will just wanted to say that all of these projects are in a coherence strategy in the 5 main points that I explained about Plocan, so the training, the dissemination, the observatory, and the test site. And just to finalize and to conclude, well, more than conclusions is the things that I would like you to retain about our organization is just we have the research, we are an innovative research infrastructure, and we have the capacities to be an interesting and, of course, collaborative partner in the new challenges that are coming in the Horizon 2020. Our main focus is to facilitate the access to the sea for testing and demonstration activities, and we have a very interesting location there in the Canary Islands, not only because of the strategic location in the Atlantic, in the North Atlantic, but in the south part of the Atlantic, but also in terms of the conditions, the weather, which allows us to have yearly, an operational window of the whole year in the Canary Islands for testing these activities. And I hope that I've been able to transmit to you that we are an internationally recognized background experience in the marine and science technologies, although Procang is in a new organization. And I would like also that you keep in mind that we have already involved in European marine and maritime key challenges and introduce it in the research and development international communities and infrastructures. And well, that's all. Thank you very much for your attention.